And we're live with another episode of BS Busters. Thank you for joining us, sir. And so for those of you who are new, thank you for joining us. For those of you who are old heads watching this, you know what we do. We talk about bullshit and busting. Today we're talking about Sony's Play event, whatever state of play, whatever the fuck they call it. Basically, we'll call it the Sony Direct. The Sony Direct. All right. They said some interesting things. Some interesting things happened. Just like whenever they have the Game of Summer thing, we'll talk about that. Etc. Etc. The summer. We'll also talk about the PC gaming show, but and that's going to be June 11th. So Sony went first today. Then next week or 2 weeks from now, we'll have the Guerrilla Collective. Then the Summer Game Fest, Day of Devs, at the same day as that. Wholesome Direct. Yeah, it's June. Yeah, the Summer Game, the Guerrilla Collective. Yeah, that's only going to be it's going to be 9 in the morning. Day of the Devs, June 8th. Wholesome Direct, June 10th. Future Game Show, June 10th. That's Saturday. PC Game Show, Sunday. Xbox and Starfield, June 11th. Ubisoft Forward, June 12th. And Devolver Direct, they don't know when they'll do. They probably might not do anything. I don't know. I always like the Devolver Direct because they knew E3 was bullshit and they just kind of rolled with it. But anyway, we're talking about Sony and what the shit they talked about because, it's Sony. So let's get into it. Let me just copy this link so I can go through the trailer reveals, and then we'll talk about their Wii U gamepad they also announced too. Except it's for Sony. Okay, so first they have Fair Games, which is a bullshit. It's a CGI reveal. This is from Jade Raymond Studio that Sony bought. So it's something going on there.
Yeah, there was a lot of that in that showcase CGI trailers and title cards.
Yeah, I don't know what this game is about. I know Jade Raymond has a lot of she's made a lot of good games. It's coming to PS5 and PC, so that's not a PlayStation exclusive. Yeah, so it's a game.
It's a game.
It's a game. Then we got Helldivers 2, which this game is a sequel to a game that came out about 8 years ago.
Yeah. It was a top-down.
Yeah, it was a top-down shooter game, multiplayer
shooter game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's a third-person shooter. So hopefully it's interesting.
Yeah,
it looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, and this game is basically, it went from being top-down to third person. And this game basically feels like what we would want from a I forgot the name. Starfield Troopers kind of thing. Something Troopers, Space Troopers, whatever. They made a movie about it with Paul Verhoeven. It was based on a book written by Robert Heinlein. And now the name's stuck in my hand, so I got to look at Robert Heinlein. Robert A. Heinlein. Yeah. Starship Troopers. This game has a very Starship Troopers look to it. Even down to the kind of if you ever watch the movie Starship Troopers, it's basically about what would happen if instead of being built around the concept of everyone who's a citizen has the right to agree or disagree with what's going on, if everything was very jingoistic and like a form of type of Americanized fascism took over the world. And that's basically what Starship Troopers the movie is about. Even though the book is very pro-military and you shouldn't be allowed to vote if you haven't served in the military type of shit, which Paul Verhoeven grew up in Nazi-era Europe. like he was from a country that fought against the Nazis. So he read the book. He was like, this is bullshit, and I will not make a movie about it. So instead, he wound up making a parody movie that makes fun of what if this actually happened and you had a Nazi era, like a fascist government, and how absurd and ridiculous that government would be. And the movie is very much a parody of that idea. Kind of like how RoboCop is a parodied version of the Jesus mythology. Except RoboCop doesn't come back to save the world. He comes back to kill the people who kicked his ass and killed him. Because Robo-Jesus doesn't forgive. Robo-Jesus kills. But that's neither here nor there. Helldivers 2 looks kind of good. It's great to get a new follow-up to a game from 8 years ago that no one was asking for. But hey, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It looks all right. I didn't really hear much about this game when it came out, but
it had a dedicated fan base.
Yeah,
like there was a group of people who really liked it.
Yeah.
So like here's the thing. It's different. It looks interesting. It's coming to PC. It's coming to PS5 and PC. So that means probably in the next 2 or 3 years, it'll probably also come to the Xbox. So, I'm glad these people made money. Good for them. Like the fact that there's more games that are different from the normal slop that we get, I'm happy, about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got the next game, Immortals of Avium. Now, this game is made from a guy who helped to create, who'd been working on Call of Duty for years. Not the people who helped originally create it. They're working at Respawn. But the other people who worked on, like, the Black Ops games and shit, yeah, they finally left, and this is them. So the guy, he said, I'm tired of making multiplayer shooters. I want to make an epic first-person shooter, except with magic and shit. Yeah. So when I heard that, I was like, this sounds really interesting. I mean, it kind of sucks that the main character looks like generic white guy, because there's always generic white guy in these games. But, it's first person, so you don't have to see his face. It's like Cal Kestis, the most generic looking dude ever. But the game looks pretty cool. It's a first person shooter, except instead of guns, you got magic, which is actually pretty badass. And why hasn't anyone else done this yet? Yeah. So yeah, it looks pretty good. It's made by people who know a lot about, it's headed up by a studio by a guy who knows a lot about first-person shooters. He's doing something different. It looks interesting. So I'm like, yeah, man, this could be fucking cool, dude. I mean, like I said, I'm a little upset that the main character looks so generic white guy, but fuck it, you know what I mean? And it's coming to everything except for the Switch, but fuck the Switch. I don't think I looked at some of the gameplay here. I don't think the Switch can handle it.
No,
it'd be like, your Switch would explode. I can't handle the power.
Too many particles. Too many particle effects.
It's too much shit going on. I mean, the Switch kind of struggled to run Breath of the Wild, and I don't know how the fuck it's running Tears of the Kingdom. So whatever. So there you go. Ghost Runner 2 is this is the next game. It's published by 505 Games and One More Level. And it's a first-person platforming game. So I guess kind of like in the vein of a Mirror's Edge. But I hated that game. Now, the original Ghost Runner was like isometric. And this is first-person. So that's... No. It was first-person as well. And they got this. It's more of the same thing. Now, if you don't know what Ghost Runner was, you played this cyborg person who you could get one-shotted, but the cool thing was that you used mobility to basically, and your katana, to like run across walls and make it to a certain point and slash into dudes. And it kind of like once you got into the groove of the movements and how to get around the game and not take damage, it got into a rhythm to it. It felt good. So yeah, they're making a sequel to that. It's coming to everything. I don't know why it just says PlayStation 5 on it, but it's coming to everything because Ghost Runner was on everything. So there you go.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? Give a shit, don't give a shit.
What's the name of the game again?
Ghost Runner 2?
Ghost Runner 2.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I don't remember seeing it.
All right.
I actually watched the showcase, and I don't remember seeing it.
That's how memorable it was.
There.
You didn't even recognize that it came out. Next they have Phantom Blade Zero, or sorry, Phantom Blade O. I don't know if that's Zero or O. It's a game with this looks like one of those Souls-like combat games, which I hate. Generic Japanese white guy going around killing people and monsters and shit. He's got a sword. Okay, cool. Trailer looks kind of cool. It's got color to it. Looks like you got to fight a lot of yokai and shit, which I guess is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the combat's kind of fast. Maybe Platinum did this? No, it's from S Games, sorry. You can tell they were influenced by by Platinum because this kind of has it's got a lot of Platinum shit going on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks interesting. It seems like this game is very much built around having these cinematic sword fights. I guarantee the combat's probably fairly decent, but then there's going to be a moment where you go into a cinematic kind of quick time type thing, maybe, or even worse, you just kind of like you press a button and you like going for a finisher that looks badass as fuck. But it looks interesting. I'm not like. I don't know. It's coming to PS5 and probably PC too. I don't know. Next we've got Sword of Sea. It's from the developer of Abzu and Pathless, and it looks like Journey, but instead of Journey where you walked around everywhere, in this game you're on a some type of boogie board or something, like a sword that you can use as a boogie board, which is cool, I guess. So yeah, you're basically you're sailing across this sand sea on a skateboard, sword skateboard. So that's cool. Yeah, it looks interesting. So think Journey, but a little bit faster. There's grinding involved, and apparently you're going around restoring areas in this desert where creatures can live. So I guess that's kind of cool. Yeah. Care, don't care.
It looks interesting. Looks like one of those visual experiences. I know that people like stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't always play a game where you're going around murdering everything. Sometimes you need to do something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't. Personally, that's why I play farming simulators, because I can't go around killing everything all the time.
Yeah.
That kills your soul. They're making a Talos Principle 2. I tried to play this game and I was like, this feels like a bootleg Myst or Riven, and I wasn't really feeling it. But apparently, it sold well enough that they're going to make a sequel. And yeah, so if you were really into the Talos Principle, they're making a sequel, and it's being released by Devolver. So, yay, Devolver.
Yeah.
Talos, and it's coming to everything. I don't know why, like, Sony's all like, it's exclusive, it's coming to everything. Devolver can't afford to have something exclusively just on one console.
Yeah.
Next we have Neva. It's from Giant Squid, the developer behind Gree. and it's one of those games, it's one of those games that look all, it's trying to tell some intense story and some shit like that. And
Visual, yeah, through its visual expression.
yeah, I mean the trailer for it shows some sword girl with a wolf with antlers. The wolf gets killed but leaves a puppy behind, and this girl has to protect the puppy too, so it's
Yeah,
already gonna get somebody. Oh, look, if you want to show a character is kind and touching, have them have a dog. And if it's a puppy, ooh, that's real. Oh man, if you have someone with a puppy, ooh man, that's like
yeah,
they can't be a bad guy. They got a puppy. Forgetting
yeah,
that
exactly.
even Adolf Hitler loved his pet dogs, and he was a vegetarian. Um, but we're talking about cinema and video games and shit like that, and they want to, they don't really care. It's coming to everything: Switch, Series S and X, Series X and S, PS5, probably PC. So yeah. Um, Next, Foam Stars. Um, Foam Stars. The blurb on the page I'm reading it says it's inspired by Splatoon, and yeah, I can definitely see that. Seems
No, it's
like, except
hardcore. Yeah,
yeah, Splatoon was based on paint. In this game, you're using soap foam. So
yeah,
yeah, they clearly the studio that made this saw Splatoon is like, we want to do that, but we can't do ink. It'd be too much of a copy.
yeah,
So it's different colored foam, and it does have its own thing because people are like surfing on the foam and using it to fly and shit. And this is
yeah,
clearly their
yeah.
take on Splatoon, because even how they do the things. Now, see, I might get a PS5 with the gamepad just so I can play this game with, with the days virtual gameplay support, because Nintendo took it out in the later Splatoons because they're fucking pussies. Um,
Uh,
yeah, I said it. So yeah, this game does have that Splatoon vibe, and if they had second screen support, I'd totally get this game. First, I'd have to get a PS5, but yeah, I'd totally do it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's probably gonna be a live service game, so ugh.
I mean, Splatoon's a live service game, so that's not really. I know people like it has a single player. Yeah, but I mean, I know a lot of people who play Splatoon and never even finish the multiplayer. And this is a PlayStation 5, PS4 exclusive, so.
Sorry,
So
what was that? I had to do something real quick.
no, I just said a lot of I'm just saying it's a PS4 and PS5 exclusive though, so I don't know.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's probably not going to do that well on the play because they don't like those types of games. Next we
no.
have the Plucky Squire. This is the game where you play on a storybook and it like you go
Oh
around
yeah, that
doing
game looks
shit.
pretty. Yeah, that game looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
it
like the
looks like
concept.
what you would really want a Paper Mario game to be instead of the bullshit we keep on getting. But
Oh yeah, that would have been a great idea for a Paper Mario game. But
that actually takes effort and quality and everything like that, and we haven't gotten a quality Paper Mario game since
yeah, I
Paper
mean there are a
Mario
lot of
2.
interesting visual things going on. You had the going on, coming out of the book,
Yeah,
going into like the
the
real
surrounding
world, and
area. Yeah, I'm like, if Paper Mario took this idea, that'd be an amazing Paper Mario game. And
oh yeah,
if you actually had party members and shit, that'd be amazing. And then I realized Nintendo hasn't done that in years, so I'm like, never mind. I guess I'll have to play this. This will be
yeah,
my Paper Mario game.
yeah.
We've got Teardown. This game also came out earlier. It's already out on PC. This is the game where basically you play as someone who's being paid to destroy shit. I guess for the insurance money. I don't know. And yeah, you're like, hey, destroy this building. So you basically set things up so that you can do something and destroy an entire house or a warehouse or a store or whatever. So Basically, if you ever want to play a game where, if you're one of those people who would build shit with Legos and then destroy it, and that was the best part, was destroying it, well, here you go. You get to do it in video game form. It looks pretty fun. It's
Yeah.
already out on PC, and it's just coming to next gen consoles, so not the Switch. So there you go. Uh,
Yeah.
I might get this game on PC if it goes on sale. Typically speaking, when a game comes out on consoles, it goes on sale on PC. So I'll probably get this on PC if it's on Steam or something like that. Anyway, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. This is a game that I have on the GameCube. So apparently Konami decided to re-release it on everything else, but this is a modern version of the game. I always kind of liked Snake Eater.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Snake Eater.
Yeah, it's
That's the
basically
one. It seems like the one game that Snake Eater and the first game, even the
on the
GameCube version.
MSX or the NES or the
No, the
oh, okay,
PlayStation
yeah.
slash GameCube versions of that, and the GameCube version of that game. Like
Well,
those are two games I hear a lot of people talk about more so than I would say the other ones.
Snake Eater itself is a remake of the first Metal Gear. It's
I think Snake.
it's like a modern retelling of the first Metal Gear, like the first like MSX Metal Gear. Um,
Metal Gear Solid 3 is the first. Is
yeah,
the retelling.
yeah,
Oh,
it's the
okay.
retelling. Snake Eater is the retelling of the first game, like the one where you're
Okay.
airlifted into the jungle and you got to get that. And at the end, you fight a Metal Gear Rex with a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's basically that's all it is. Except
Okay.
it's not on the MSX, so they could do more with with the technology. And it's
Yeah.
from Konami. No Hideo Kojima available, so the story might be a little bit more coherent. And it's coming to everything except the Switch because fuck Nintendo. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Next we have
Yeah.
Tower of Agaspa. And this game looks freaky because there's like some giant hands going around talking to people and shit. Uh, and it's got like some Harvest Moon shit going on, but you're also like riding animals and there's like giant whales and shit. This game looks like it's taken a lot of cues from Breath of the Wild, but it looks way better than Breath of the Wild could ever dream of looking, and it's on Steam and everything else.
What is this game?
Tower here, I'll share
Uh,
the link in the chat, and you can look at it for yourself because it looks really good. Actually, it looks really like if you watch the trailer, you'll be like, God damn! If only Nintendo splurged to put some fucking money on their console, they could have shit that look like this.
Yeah.
Like at first, it's like this looks generic as fuck, and then the further you get into it, like, God damn! Oh man, if Breath of the Wild looked like this, because the world is so weird, you're like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine what we could have done had they actually splurged on a more powerful hardware. But it probably still would have looked like shit even on slightly better hardware on the Switch. Um, I don't even know why I said that. It slapped myself in the mouth for saying that. Final Fantasy 16. It's going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, console exclusive, and it'll hit PC. I was excited for this game because it looked really awesome, but then I realized single player. And when I say single player, I mean like there's no other like it's just you. There's no party members, and that's when I was kind of like, I don't really give a fuck. Um,
The story looks interesting.
Yeah, the story looks interesting, but the thing that I always liked about Final Fantasy was the party members and going from village to village and all that shit, and like building my party and all that shit. This game, you're just kind of single player doing your own thing, and it kind of just, and it's got like hack and slash combat, which I don't really give a fuck about. You know what I mean? In a Final Fantasy game. Now, if they want to do a spin-off and call the shit Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, like we redid it, I mean, oh, that's kind of cool. That's neat. But this shit right here, eh. I'll probably get it when it comes on PC if it goes on sale, but I'm not like...
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's
I think
not why I play Final Fantasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, Square Enix continuously gets farther and farther from what, in my opinion, Final Fantasy should be. But whatever. Alan Wake 2. Yay! We finally got Alan Wake. And it's coming to everything. Yay! Alan Wake 2. We finally found out what happened to Alan. Yay! Alan. Yay!
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I find the lore and stuff interesting between Alan Wake and even Control because I think those games are related.
They are. They take place in the same universe.
Yeah, they take place in the same universe. But Control, I just cheated on it because I was more interested in the story than I was the gameplay. And Alan Wake is just Alan Wake, I just never really got into. But again, the lore is interesting.
Yeah. Next, we have Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is apparently more of a traditional Assassin's Creed, which is kind of cool because we haven't had a traditional Assassin's Creed in a long time. So, if you like that Assassin's Creed where you would press the button to counter and just take on everybody and jump into the hay bale and all that shit, well, you can do it in this game. So there you go, a traditional Assassin's Creed. If you pre-order it, you get a Prince of Persia outfit. They can't be. Now, here's the irony, right? Assassin's Creed originally began as a Prince of Persia project, and it was so different from Prince of Persia that they just made it its own thing. But they can't actually reboot Prince of Persia, so they're like, well, here's a consolation prize. If you pre-order this game, you get a Prince of Persia outfit for your character. That's just stupid. Next, we have Revenant Heal. It's in development for PS5 and PS4. It's one of those games that has a cat in it. Now, I'm a person who I don't really like cats, so I don't like playing games where you play as a cat. But here you go, folks. An announcement that made me excited. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah, that looked pretty good.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dragon's Dogma was Capcom's take on Dungeons and Dragons. Like, if you played the game and like really got down into it, everything in Dragon's Dogma, like to the bosses to the monsters, I'm like, oh shit, these are creatures from Dungeons and Dragons. And this game is just more creatures from Dungeons and Dragons. They've gotten more races. They've got like cat people and shit, which is cool. And I'm probably gonna get this game on PC, because if you're gonna play Dragon's Dogma, play it on PC. Hopefully this time you can create people of color that don't look like mannequins. Because that was my one complaint with the original Dragon's Dogma. If you tried to create a black character, your character looked like a goddamn mannequin. A racist, shitty mannequin at that. Maybe this time, maybe Capcom has gotten to what people look like. And you can tell this Dragon's Dogma. Like, you're fighting Cyclops and shit. And the art style is totally like what it used to be. You know what I mean? Like, you see a griffin, you see the dragon, like, all this shit looks like a next-gen version of that shit we had back then. So, Dragon's Dogma 2, totally looking forward to it. It's coming to everything. It's not going to be a PlayStation exclusive. I don't think. Yeah, it's coming to Steam, Series X and S. So, yeah, folks, if you've been waiting for that Dragon's Dogma a long time, you got it. It's coming. It's on its way. They didn't give an announcement date, but it's on its way. It's coming. RE4 is coming to PSVR. I don't know why, because that game was not played in virtual reality. It's a third-person shooter, but whatever.
Yeah.
Slightly over the shoulder, but fuck it. I'm not really interested in playing this game in first person, but someone might be. Here's something exciting.
Yeah.
Marathon from Bungie is coming to PS5 and I think PC as well. And maybe the Xbox, I don't know. Now, for those of you who don't know, Marathon was originally came out on the Mac back in the day.
Yeah.
Because Apple bought it as an exclusive. Marathon is Bungie's first shooter, and a lot of people who played that game on the Mac said is a really good game. So now they've remade it, or they're remaking it, and I'm quite happy about that. I probably will get this game if it's on PC.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Then they showed off Concord. This game is looks like it's a game where you're in space and shit, flying around doing shit. Something apparently goes wrong. It's a teaser trailer, so we don't know anything about it. It's coming to PS5 and PC next year. Apparently they're making a Gran Turismo movie. It's about kids who play Gran Turismo.
If you miss a line in the game, you reset. You miss it on the track.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah, I'm just not interested in this, so I'm gonna. It's about kids who play Gran Turismo.
Yeah, it's a sports movie. Maybe it's any car movie. I've never really been in the sports movies.
I mean, car movies can be interesting, but when Sony takes one of their IPs and makes it into a movie, it's because they that IP is kind of going down a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably a possibility.
Because Gran Turismo used to be their highest grossing IP. And it's gotten more and more expensive to create as years has gone by because they keep on having to license those tracks and those cars, and it's just expensive. And so now I guess they're thinking, well, if we make it into a movie, it'll be less expensive than if we keep on making these games. Because it's diminishing returns. They're not making they're not making enough money.
Please.
Yeah.
You puked on my lawn.
There's no turning.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome to Team This End.
Part of the game.
And it's got David Harbour in it, so I mean, David Harbour always puts in a good role, and it's directed by Neil Blomkamp, so I don't know, man. Neil Blomkamp's a pretty good director. He's the one who did District 9 and what's the name of that movie? The movie where it's got it's kind of like in the same vein as District 9, except it's set in a future where all the rich people live in this space station right outside of the
talking
Earth.
about Elysium?
Yeah, it's basically Neil Blomkamp also directed Elysium. I think Elysium wasn't quite as good as District 9, but because the message was really heavy-handed. We get it. Rich people are dicks. You should share resources if you can instead of just hoarding everything because people don't have money. I understand it, but you know, subtlety, Neil, subtlety. Like District 9 had some subtlety. Elysium had zero subtlety. It's like, we get it. Rich people are assholes.
Yeah.
Shit.
Poor people can be pretty terrible too. So.
That's true, but the poor people in Elysium, it's like, let me get this straight. This person is dying. You have healthcare that costs you practically nothing in this space station. You could be healing people, which would make them better workers so that they can make more shit, but fuck them, they don't have enough money. So it was very much like, yeah, you rich people are assholes. I mean, look, listen, Neil, I'm a liberal and I follow a lot of the tenets of socialism. I really don't like rich people, but even you were taking it a little too far.
Yeah.
Because uncontrolled capitalism is shit.
I agree. I agree. I mean, look at some of the stuff that's happening now, but he probably shouldn't go on a tangent about the failures of unbridled capitalism.
Yeah, unbridled capitalism is every time they're like, oh, just remove just let them do whatever they want. You get shit like that Silicon Bank thing where they were putting people's money without their knowledge into Bitcoin and shit like that. A completely unregulated currency.
Yeah.
But never mind. I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, Project Q, or as I like to call it, Sony's Wii U.
Man, I was like, oh, so it is
Later this-
real, after all. Unfortunately, it is. What the rumors were right about it. I was like, oh, shit, this thing's gonna be a huge waste of money.
It's Sony's Wii U, but I mean, look, man. Listen. Here's what's gonna be funny. This is gonna come out, and the Sony fanboys will be like, "This is brilliant! I love this! It's amazing! It's so innovative!" Conveniently forgetting that 10 years ago, Nintendo came out with the Wii U, which is functionally the same goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be like, they were like, that's stupid. I would never buy this. It's the Wii U. Fuck this. But because it's their console, it's okay. And I might actually get this if I can play asymmetrical gameplay with that Foam Stars game. Then I'd record myself playing it and just fuck with Nintendo fans. Hey man, remember when you could do this in Splatoon? Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
And I'd be totally okay. They also have some PlayStation earbuds, but fuck that. I already have earbuds. And okay, we got Spider-Man 2. Yeah, this will probably come to PC as well. It's got Kraven the Hunter hunting down Spider-Man, who's apparently has the black symbiote suit now, and it's got Miles Morales in it, but I'm going to say something that's going to make some people angry. I don't really give a shit. I never fucking liked Miles Morales.
Yeah, see, that was one of the things I was thinking, because I've come across at least a few people that were not big fans of Miles Morales, and, so I'm just going to probably not. So, I don't know.
The thing is like they try to guilt you into liking Miles Morales because he's black or he's Puerto Rican and his mother's dark. His mother's like dark Puerto Rican and his father's like light skinned Puerto Rican or whatever. He's Afro Caribbean Puerto Rican, and the thing is like for me is just like, if someone put a gun to my head and said, name 5 Spider-Man villains, I can name 5 of them. Name 3 epic Spider-Man stories, I can name 3 epic Spider-Man stories. If someone came up to me, put a gun to my head and said, hey, name 5 epic Miles Morales Spider-Man villains, I'd just get shot in the head. And if you asked me to name 3 epic storylines from the character, I could name the one where he appears, in the Ultimate Universe, where Ultimate Spider-Man dies and Miles Morales picks up the mantle, and that's about it. Like, I'm not familiar with the character, and nothing that's been written about him has made him really interesting or epic. Like, I have no incentive to give a fuck about Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Some people are going to get mad about that and be like, how could you say that? You should support him because he's black. It's like, I need a little bit more.
Yeah, but it was, I don't know if you saw that 10-minute trailer, but I really liked what I saw from the gameplay. It was amusing to see Peter Parker losing his damn mind in the symbiote suit.
Yeah, well, he's got the symbiote suit, and I guess this is based on the ultimate version of Spider-Man with the symbiote suit because he's got fucking tentacles and shit. Because in the original, he doesn't get that. So I guess they're trying to make like Peter Parker into more like a Venom type symbiote versus just the black symbiote suit Spider-Man. So that's kind of weird, but whatever. But like I said, I mean, I just don't give a fuck about Miles Morales. I'm like, we have Peter Parker. We don't fucking need you.
Yeah.
And your shitty
But-
Spider-Man abilities.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just kind of like. It's kind of sad they don't have co-op, but you know,
Yeah,
at the
no.
same time, the way they direct the way the gameplay works, it probably the co-op probably wouldn't have worked because it's just. You know,
I mean,
if you saw the trailer, it's like a seamless.
No, I
transition.
see what it is. I just this is a superhero game. It's meant to be played alone. You really shouldn't have co-op in a game like this.
Yeah,
The only superhero
I agree.
game where co-op would maybe work is if you did an Avengers game.
Yeah. I think it'll be pretty decent.
Yeah,
It's gonna be interesting to see, you know.
yeah. If you did an Avengers game, co-op would work. But because it would make sense for you to play as other characters. It would make sense for you to beat other characters. It doesn't make sense for you to have co-op in a Spider-Man game because, you know, it's just you by yourself, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man ain't got a team. It's just his ass alone.
Yeah.
You know, and even with Miles Morales, like Miles Morales, what? He's like Miles Morales can't keep up with Peter Parker because I mean, this version of Peter Parker has been Spider-Man for like 8-9 years.
Yeah.
You know, he's got way more experience. It's like, yeah, I mean, maybe if they did a Men in Black video game, that would kind of make sense to have co-op, but Miles Morales can't keep up with Peter Parker because, like I said, none of his villains are as interesting or as life-threatening as the shit Peter Parker's had to deal with.
Yeah. That's why I like the Spider-Man that they created. You know, the first Spider-Man game, because you know you don't have to go through the whole origin story. Or
No, but it's
everybody knows
implied.
the origin.
All that shit.
Yeah, it's implied.
It's an older Peter Parker who had to deal with all that shit. He's like, hey, yeah, my Aunt May died, and I fought these villains, and then they bring in Miles Morales with the spinoff. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Get the fuck out of here, boy. I mean, I hate to say this. Like, they call him, he's Miles Morales, he's Spider-Man. No, that's Spider-Boy. Peter Parker, he's Spider-Man. He's done some shit. He's lived some shit. He's gone through some shit.
Yeah.
You know? Like, Gwen Stacy died. Uncle Ben died. Like, who's died close to you? Well, I still got my daddy and my mama. They shut the fuck up. Boy. Once you've been through some shit, once your girlfriend has died in your arms, because your nemesis like gave you a you know, you can save her, but in saving her she dies, like that type of choice. Then you can tell me about how much you've gone through and how much you've lost, boy. Boy. I'm Spider-Man. Yeah. And then black people, Miles Morales, he's amazing. You like him because he's black, because his stories have been shit. Absolute shit. I cannot name a good Miles Morales story. I can name like 3, 4, 5 great Spider-Man stories. And I know it's unfair to compare them because, you know, Spider-Man, there's been Spider-Man comics since the 60s. Whereas Miles Morales came out in, let me look this up real quick. Shit. Wikipedia. Shit. No, Wikipedia. Wikipedia, goddammit. Wikipedia, not WikiHow. God damn it. Damn it, Miles Morales. Miles Morales. Miles Morales came about in 2011. So it's not fair for me to compare a character who has only been around for 12 years to a character who has been around for let's see, 1962. let's see, 62, 72, 82, 92, 2002, 2012, 2022, 60 years, 61 years. It's not fair for me to say that, but he's still like it's like you can't, you know, it's like it's really hard for me to give a shit about a character who's had no interesting stories written about him, and his only gimmick is that he's a person of color.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, he's a person of color, but it adds nothing to his character. Because you could make Peter Parker into a black person and it would not change any of his stories. Spider-Man's skin color means nothing. His ethnicity means nothing.
Yeah.
It's a moot point, whatever. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, that was their big in cap was Spider-Man 2. It's coming to everything. It's coming to PC, just like the old games did. That's it. Anything else you want to bring up before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I give the showcase about a C+, C-, C+. There are some things there that were okay. Seeing gameplay of Spider-Man 2, it's surprising that we don't have a release date yet.
Yeah, but they
the fall 2023, and it's just kind of like, what? Wait, we're almost at the end of May. Like Memorial Day's this weekend. We're heading towards June.
Yeah,
Everyone's gonna go by. It's like, why don't you have a release date, you guys? I mean, we're like, what? Only about 4 or 5 months away from fall. Okay, also fantasy. What's that? Fantasy Blue, Fantasy Grand Blue.
Oh, Grand Blue Fantasy.
Fantasy, that RPG got announced. They said winter 2023, and I'm just kind of like,
is it an RPG? I thought Grand Blue Fantasy, like they've been doing spinoffs. Like they had that fighting game spinoff that was kind of like, okay, I guess so.
Yeah, Grand Blue Fantasy RPG that was announced, like several years ago. Now they have a release window, winter 2023. And I'm just kind of like, you might as well just change that to 2024, because it's like winter on the calendar doesn't start until December 21st.
You know it's gonna get delayed.
You're gonna release that game?
Yeah, it's gonna get delayed. It's gonna come out next year.
Yeah,
but I guess they're like, we got to get our
2024.
I guess they're like, we got to get our funding together. So
yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say. A lot of CGI trailers, a lot of title cards.
Yeah. I can't complain because Nintendo did the same goddamn thing.
Yeah, they do that too.
With Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. And also, let's see. At least we got, stuff releasing this year more so than, stuff releasing a year and a half from now. Like we often see in these companies. I mean, I guess
except they're still lying about it's PlayStation exclusive. It's coming to everything.
But there's not. Isn't really. What's the big game this fall? Spider-Man. I guess you really.
There's a lot of games coming out. I mean, look, man. There's Spider-Man. There's
I was talking exclusive wise coming out this year because if Spider-Man does come to PC, it probably won't come to PC until like a year and a half.
I mean, there's Spider-Man. There's the big game this year is Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield.
Starfield is gonna eat everybody's lunch.
Yeah, because it's Bethesda and people will clamor for that game.
Here's the thing: if that game just isn't a buggy, glitchy mess, it's gonna eat everyone's lunch.
Yeah.
Just on GP, everybody's lunch is gonna get ate.
Yep.
And anyone who's like, no, like, come on, man. Who you bullshit? We all know that game, and the fact that it is an Xbox exclusive. Oh boy, Xbox and PC exclusive. Shit. Sony is shitting their pants right now, and if that deal with Activision Blizzard goes through, Sony is gonna shit a brick. Shit a brick. I don't know. I did not include the R with that. They're gonna shit a brick.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna laugh my ass off watching them shit that brick.
Oh yeah.
That is gonna be anytime Sony shits a brick and gets mad and scared, I'm just like, this is good. 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 Maybe they'll learn how to act one day. Because when Sony gets arrogant, they fuck up. When Nintendo gets arrogant, they do something weird. But when Sony gets arrogant, they fuck up. Every time. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyway, we had a slight hiccup. But anyway, that's the end of the cast. Anything you want to pimp out, sir?
No, I just one last thing I wanted to talk about was the actually, I'll save that for my next week's cast.
All right.
But yeah, just Project Console. I think I'm gonna move it to 6 o'clock.
Tuesdays. All right.
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
All right.
Eastern Standard Time. Yeah.
All right. Okay. This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. Thank you for joining me. And I'm gonna try and do some video capture footage for tomorrow and bring back a simple soliloquy. See if I can come up with something. So that's gonna be fun. So with that being said, that's the end of this podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. We're trying to regrow the channel, reach a new higher audience, so we can bring back stuff like audience participation, live questions, that type of stuff. That's going to be fun. So with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. If you would like to get in touch with the podcast, you can reach me on Discord. You can reach me via Gmail at mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com, etc., etc., blah, 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 yakety smackety. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe.